Good afternoon. Before getting started, I would like to provide you some technical information regarding the interpretation. We have interpretation in 3 languages, in Turkish, English, and Spanish. For those who would like to listen in English and Spanish, you should choose the English and Spanish option. If it is in Turkish, you should choose the Korean option. And there are also live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter accounts of TBD, TOBB, and EUROCHAMBERS. You may find a link above your screen on those social media accounts to switch the language between Turkish and English. So welcome today to our 4th and final session of TBD Women Entrepreneurs Online Forum. My name is Oya Ersöz, and I'm the TBD team leader and project director at EUROCHAMBERS. Turkey-EU business dialogue has been implemented by EUROCHAMBERS in close cooperation with TOBB, the Union of Chambers and Commodity Exchange of Turkey. And as Turkey-EU business dialogue project, we aim at strengthening mutual knowledge, dialogue, and long-term cooperation between Turkish chambers and their counterparts in the EU, thus promoting the integration of European and Turkish business communities. We are organizing Women Entrepreneurs Forum within the framework of TBD capacity building activities. I also would like to inform you that TBD project has been promoting gender equality in its activities, and it has been considered equal opportunity principles and practices in order to ensure equitable with the gender participation in the project activities. And the involvement of women staff from chambers has been also encouraged within the scope of TBD project. And I also would like to take your attention that there is a woman power behind the organization of this event, TBD Women Entrepreneurs Forum. And I would like to thank my team for their efforts and excellent coordination. And this morning, we have concluded our first session on learning by doing inspiring practices of women entrepreneurs, where we have had general great inspiring women and heard more about their stories, experience, and challenges from biotechnology, tourism, manufacturing, energy, and high-tech sectors. And in this session, we will focus on the roles and activities of European and Turkish chambers in women entrepreneurship. And it's a great pleasure to welcome you, such esteemed speakers today. Let me introduce our moderator and panelists for today. In this session, our moderator will be our EUROCHAMBERS CEO, Ben Butters. And we have 3 European Chamber representatives and 4 Turkish Chamber representatives. And from Chamber of Economy of Montenegro, Ana Filipovic, Senior Advisor, will make her remarks, and Cevahir Asuman Yazmacı, TOBB Women Entrepreneurs Council Vice President, and Şanlıurfa TOBB Women Entrepreneurs Council President, and Flavio Bullizzi, Director, Union Camera Europa, and Hatice Güner Kal, TOBB Istanbul Women Entrepreneurs Council President, and Christina Tumiati, the President of Women Entrepreneurs Committee of Turin, and Ayla Harp, Mersin TOBB Women Entrepreneurs Council President, and finally Irina Bahic from Croatian Chamber will make their remarks. Thank you for joining us today. And one last reminder before we get started. If you have any questions during the speech, please type them into chat box in your Zoom control panel and comment parts on the other social media accounts with your name, institution, and to whom you are directing your questions, please. Now, without any delay, we will turn the time over to our moderator. The floor is yours, Ben. Mr. Ben.
Thank you very much, Oya. Thank you for the introduction, which as you've done very well. And because of that, I will move swiftly on. You presented all of the participants in the panel, and welcome to you all, and thank you for your time. We hope to have a good session here to wind up what's been a very fruitful and active 2 days of discussions by focusing on the activities of Chambers specifically in relation to women entrepreneurship in both the EU and Turkey. And the panel has been presented to you already by Oya. So without further ado, I will hand over the floor to the first panelist, who is Anna Filipovic from the Chamber of Montenegro. Anna, the floor is yours, please.
Okay. Dear Mr. Butters, dear forum participants, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the organizers for the preparation of this exceptional event. Women entrepreneurship is a broad topic which provides multiple positive results. The Chamber of Economy of Montenegro supports the meaning and contribution of women entrepreneurship to the economy. Nearly 20 years ago, women entrepreneurs started to associate systematically, encouraged by the participation of the Chamber representative and Montenegrin businesswomen in the roundtable for the women entrepreneurs of the Forum Adriatic-Ionian Chamber of Commerce. In addition to members, Women Entrepreneurship Board at the Montenegrin Chamber of Economy includes a representative of the government of Montenegro and NGO sector. The board discusses the current issues in the field of business, such as financing women entrepreneurship, open calls for the EU project, participation in fairs, promotion, and trainings. Latest data shows that more and more women in Montenegro are starting to run their own businesses. In 2019, the share of women entrepreneurs, as well as owners as well as women owners of micro, small, and medium enterprises in total number of business entities amounted to 24.3%. This is significant data because in comparison to 2011, this is the double of number of ownership of SMEs. They are mostly represented in healthcare industry, education, financial sector, and trade. Montenegro set up a high-quality legal framework related to women entrepreneurship. Institutions provide various support and integrate measures and policies. I will mention a credit line provided by the Investment and Development Fund, which includes 1% lower tax rate if the loan is granted to women entrepreneur. Two most significant documents in Montenegro aimed at encouraging women to go in entrepreneurship are Strategy for Development of Women Entrepreneurship and Action Plan for Achieving Gender Equality. Over 90% of companies owned by women in Montenegro are micro enterprises, and they are aimed to local markets. Their activity are characterized with insufficient use of EU funds for development, unexploited opportunities for cooperation with academia and science community, lack of information, but also pretty good connection with other women in business. In order to remove the identified disadvantage, Chamber of Economy of Montenegro organizes trainings and seminars for business startups as well for women entrepreneurs who need to expand their knowledge or improve their knowledge in marketing, finance, human resources, or other necessary field. In order to promote education of women in Montenegro, the Chamber of Economy has done a scientific monograph, Education of Women in Montenegro, aimed at gender equality. Its author, Mladen Perazic, who is the head of education department in Montenegro, combined spatial, time, and social context of the education development of women in Montenegro, giving a broader picture of the development trend of women equality in this region. In a cooperation with the Ministry of Finance and NGO Women Action, a Montenegrin chamber took part in drafting brochure, Self-Employment and Employment of Women in Montenegro, which aimed to bring together the latest information on the initiation of women entrepreneurship and to develop employment skills among women. A number of projects implemented by the Chamber included women entrepreneurs. The projects related to women entrepreneurs were Network of Mentors for women entrepreneurs. This was done with the EU financial support. Within this project, the first network of mentors for women entrepreneurs was set up. It includes successful women entrepreneurs who express the desire and readiness to share know-how with beginners. Also, we had the regional project, Women Entrepreneurs, an engine for creation of Southeast Europe. And especially interesting project was Gastro Souvenirs to Go, Gas2Go. This was funded by EPA project, in which we engage 3 partners. We were the leading partner, University of Mediterranean and company Frutiera, led by a woman entrepreneur, Mrs. Radoje Krajnatovic. According to this project, we developed marketing strategy and the entire business plan for the entrepreneur, and she was able to expand her services and find new clients. So, in conclusion, to improve its development, we need to work on promotion and strengthening of the capacities of women entrepreneurs, improve the position and economic empowerment of women in society. Economic empowerment of women implies the greater participation in decision-making process and society with more prosperity and more sound economy. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I'm convinced today direct contact will result in new experiences and cooperation opportunities.
Thank you very much, Anna Filipovic, for this useful explanation of measures that have been taken in Montenegro and the role of the chambers in that process, and for the very succinct closing remarks there about the importance of economic empowerment of women. That's clearly fundamental. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We move on to Turkey and to the president of the TOBB Women Entrepreneurs Council, Ms. Yazmachi. The floor is yours.
Merhabalar, herkese iyi gün diliyorum. Türkiye Odalar Borsa Birliği, İstanbul Kadın Girişimciler Kurulu ve şahsım adına herkese sevgi ve saygıyla selamlıyorum. 2007 yılında Türkiye Odalar ve Borsalar Birliği 81 ilde 81
As you know, the TOBB has established its Women Entrepreneurship Council in 81 provinces. I'm sorry, I was receiving a feedback, therefore I had to just adjust my PC. As you know, we have 81 councils, and we have members more than 7,000, and I'm in the Istanbul Council. As you know, Istanbul is important for TOBB, and our council has been active here since 2007. And we are among the first 5 largest chambers in the world. And therefore, we are very lucky to be affiliated to this chamber. And our president, Rifat Sarcıklıoğlu, supports us significantly. We are thankful to that. Our minister, Ms. Pekcan, is also very supportive. I would like to also thank her as well. I'm just going to mention two important projects. We have multiple projects, trainings, seminars, but I think two stand out. One is about women who have designed their future, and the other one is women designing their own brands. The first one, women who are writing their future, is about women who are coming up with their own ideas in the industry, in especially the technology, ICT sector. I completely and fundamentally believe in gender equality. Therefore, I think we have to show this in the ICT sector. And therefore, we did a project there. And we delivered trainings to women in terms of software. And then was awarded TOBB awarded us with the Best Training, Best Project Award. We worked with Turkcell, a mobile service provider, in this, and we trained 4,000 women in 42 provinces. Today, this project is supported by the First Lady as well, and we are very happy to be able to do this because Turkcell also allowed us to take part in a competition internationally that was supported by International Global Mobile Awards, and we did receive an award there. In 2019 in New York, there was a United Nations Assembly, and we were also mentioned there. I don't know. I thought we were late in terms of coming into this sector late as women in Turkey, but I just kind of looked into the issue, and there are not many software applications that have been designed by women. Therefore, I can see that from the research in 2012, 2013 in San Francisco, there are important ICT local areas. There are newly established software developers that are supporting women, something similar in New York, but these are all very recent as well. And therefore, I saw that as Turkey, we are not very late in that regard, and we are actually doing things ahead of a lot of countries as well. Another issue is that according to research, we don't have a Turkish brand in the first 500 in the world. We sat down and thought, why not? We should be able to make one of our local brands international at the top of the list very easily, because we already have very strong content, and we can create a platform where we can add value and create a brand. We worked with the Istanbul Commercial Chamber as our Women Entrepreneurship Council. We worked on a project. When we first began, we had 650 women entrepreneurs with their own businesses, and they were doing local production. And we selected 415 of them. Then we were challenged by the pandemic. Therefore, we had to adapt in terms of providing online training. And for 5 weeks, we provided trainings to 415 women. And 70% of the trainings were participated by 350 women, 60 trainers, and a lot of renowned people from the sector. These valuable trainings were delivered with the objective to look at these local brands that were created by women and support them, to allow them to first become a national brand and then be able to move to international markets from there, so that they can become a recognized brand who are exporting. This was very important for us because we want to see our national brands internationally, and we want to create a value globally as well. And we saw that our participants are all university graduates, linguists, and they are all very valuable women entrepreneurs who are capable of creating those brands. And I think we saw that this was a common problem that we all shared. We saw that we are able to do more. And I think now we're going to be going to the second phase of the project with our chamber. We will have further workshops in that regard. We will continue to benefit from mentors. And what will happen at the end of the day? Our women entrepreneurs will be subject to a selection, and the selected ones will go ahead and continue trainings in universities internationally. They will go to on-the-job trainings. They will be provided opportunities to take part in international fairs, and we will also include them into the duty-free sales environments of the two very important airports in Istanbul. We will also get them in contact with museums around the country so that they can introduce their products to the sale points there. We believe that this will allow us to be able to support these national products, and we will be able to help these women move forward into a higher level that will allow them to represent our country internationally. And I personally believe that all of the provinces all have this kind of capacity. They have all very valuable women entrepreneurs who can all do this. Therefore, yes, maybe we are doing this in a limited manner, but I think we need to extend this. I'm sure all of the representatives here are doing a lot of very valuable work in their own chambers as well. I think in Turkey, we are quite lucky in terms of the TOBB and our supportive minister. They are all doing a lot of work to support women entrepreneurship, and we are doing what we can to take their efforts forward as well. So I would like to thank you all for being here, for being a part of our work. Thank you very much for this organization as well.
Thank you very much, Ms. Günekal. There was a slight switch in the order of speakers there, but we will come back to Ms. Yazmachi a bit later on. But thank you very much for your comments. We will have to move directly. Well, just very briefly, it was interesting to hear the scale of the projects that you are organizing in Istanbul, and how you have responded to the challenges of the pandemic, which of course is a problem for chambers across the whole of the European network. And it's always really encouraging to hear how chambers have adapted their activities in response to the pandemic, and still managing to deliver valuable services, in this case to women entrepreneurs. So thank you very much. Now we'll move swiftly on to our next speaker, who is Flavio Bolizzi, the director of EUROCHAMBRES Europa. Flavio, the floor is yours.
So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you to TOBB and EUROCHAMBRES for this very interesting and important event. I am here a few minutes to give you an overview of what Italian Chambers of Commerce are doing in the framework of women entrepreneurship, today for us is a very important day, not only because, yes, it's a day all over the world, very important for women and men too, but it's a very important day for us because we are starting today, first of all, a new big event, national event, a recurring national event we organize every year, called Giro d'Italia Women Entrepreneurship, Tour of Italy of Women Entrepreneurship, a lot of events all around Italy in order to organize new discussions, new, I should say, point on the agenda for women entrepreneurship for a year to come. And today is also very important because we present another very, very, very important document, a report we organize regularly on women entrepreneurship in Italy. I will show you some figures in a few minutes, but just to give you an idea of how we are organized in Italy on this specific topic. Since 1999, through an agreement between Italian EUROCHAMBERS of Commerce and the competent Ministry for Economic Development, every single Chamber of Commerce in Italy has a committee on women entrepreneurship for the promotion of women entrepreneurship that is represented by business associations, trade unions, and the other organization linked to women entrepreneurship on different territories. And this is the engine through which the government also organizes its measures to promote women entrepreneurship all over Italy. I give you an example. Next year, now we have under discussion the new financial programming law to 2021. There is a proposal of the government to create a new fund for women entrepreneurship. This fund will give the opportunity to women entrepreneurs to benefit from direct contribution, loans, equity for SMEs and startups, and specific support services in different fields. So this important measure sees as an implementing body these committees all over Italy, committees for women entrepreneurs and Italian EUROCHAMBERS of Commerce. So this is the proposal of the government, is under discussion. We hope this will be finalized in a few weeks' time. I want to show you now the results of this report, really presented today. So it's we are perfectly on time. I will try to share my screen. I think it's visible. Just a few, I leave you this information. You will find here a lot of figures on what's happening in Italy on female entrepreneurship. I will go through some of them in order to underline, I think, the most interesting, I should say, information contained in this report. Just to give you an important information, Italian, as you may know, Italian Chambers of Commerce in Italy are managing the business, the official business register, and the Italian business register is maybe the only one in Europe, one of the few in the world that can directly identify women entrepreneurs, because there is the fiscal identity of a single entrepreneur that is linked to the fiscal identity, personal identity of the persons that are responsible for the enterprise. So this is a very, very useful tool, because we have really a complete overview on the phenomenon in Italy. So when I give you these numbers, the numbers of businesses registered in Italy, this means this is the number of enterprise officially concretely registered in Italy and managed by women. And this is these are the most interesting, important sectors for this kind of enterprise, services, micro enterprise, more individual companies, and specifically in southern region focus as a location. And this is very important, younger according to the age of the owner. This is another important, I think, information. Before the COVID, I should say, emergency, it means in the last 5 years, we had this increase in the number of female businesses, more than male ones. So this is another interesting information. The progressive increase of female entrepreneurs, female business was more than male business in our country. But what's happened with the COVID? The COVID has been something very, I should say, that affected women entrepreneurs more than male entrepreneurs, and we will see why in this in the next few figures. The registration of women business have decreased compared to men's in this second quarter of 2020. The inscriptions in different sectors, you see the sectors that have been more affected by a reduction in the inscriptions for women, retail, catering, wholesale sector, and other personal services activities. This is interesting to go through to understand what's happening in terms of regions. For sure, considering that in Italy, in the first part of the emergency, the first wave, Northern Italy was more affected. This was also the reason why in this slide you find northern regions more affected by the I should say the decrease in number of entrepreneurial birth rate on females, and also this is quite interesting. The elaboration given by Istat, our statistical institute in Italy, say that the level of risk of profession performed by women is higher than men in this, I should say, period of contagion. So this is another interesting information. What about the survey that is performed, has been realized by Union Camere, carried out by Union Camere in the first half of the year? An investigation organized on a statistical representative sample of 1,000 female companies and 1,000 male companies belonging to all sectors of activity, with a specific focus. And you see in this slide, you see why more focus on youth enterprises, where we are. We can say the youth enterprise represent better the women businesses compared to the full panorama of women business in Italy. So we have focused on this, and the results also in this case are quite interesting. Women entrepreneurs are less digitales than male entrepreneurs, also because they lack of specific knowledge. Another interesting point, on the contrary, they are greener. It means they are more likely to invest in green, even if they have a scarce awareness of the competitive advantage of the green economy. So this is quite important to know, because this gives us the knowledge to start specific activities to female entrepreneurs on the basis of their specific needs.
Fabio, sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to have to ask you to conclude because we've run out of time, I'm afraid.
Okay. So just to give you a couple of information more, this is quite important. I think it means that the access to credit is a major problem for women entrepreneurs in Italy, and what usually banks ask women entrepreneurs are demands that are really more, I should say, of a specific, more focus than the demand usually asked to companies in general. And you see that, for example, to provide the loans, banks ask more for economic growth a requirement to grant, and more for third-party guarantees compared to other kind of companies. Just to give you, this is a final one. What we can get from this survey. We have usually female business have more drive to do business to enhance professional skills and experience. They have more companies with graduates, and they are more relational. What does it mean? It means there are, yes, they are more focused also on the social aspect of the company. But there is less innovation, less investment in digital technology, and less internationalization. These are, I should say, the direction that the survey will give us to support companies and women entrepreneurs in the next few years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Flavio. There's a massive amount of interesting information there. A couple of people already have asked if we can share the results of that survey with the participants in the conference, yes, and I'm sure we can cooperate on that. But it really shows the value of data in trying to understand and then tackle the issues that women entrepreneurs encounter, particularly in the crisis, seemingly from your findings. Okay, let's move back to Turkey now, and we will now hear from Ms. Yazmachi, who was due to speak a little earlier in the schedule. But I will now pass the floor to Ms. Yazmachi, who is the president of the TOBB Women Entrepreneurs Council. The floor is yours.
Herkese merhabalar. Öncelikle bugün Kadın Girişimcilik Forumu'nda sizlerle...
Hello everyone. It's a great pleasure to address you here in this platform with many women entrepreneurs. And I'm greeting you from the oldest city of the world, Şanlıurfa. Back in 2007, the chair of TOBB, Rifati Sarcıklıoğlu, supported us and encouraged us to create Women Entrepreneurs Committee. And ever since, I'm very proud to be the founder of that council, and it's such a joy to be involved in this endeavor. Mr. Rifati Sarcıklıoğlu, our chair, always says that the half of the population is consisting of women, so if we empower women, we would empower the entire society. As TOBB Women Entrepreneurs Council, we are existing in the middle of this very ancient land, and we want to support women in this geography, in this ancient geography, for those women who want to be successful. We take this as an important role. And for the first time, we took 100% benefit of the EU funds from Şanlıurfa to Trabzon. We have organized many events bringing entrepreneur women together. Şanlıurfa and Trabzon Chambers of Commerce and Industry, they have their women entrepreneurs councils. Together with those women entrepreneurs, we want to improve business-making potential and culture between two cities' member entrepreneurs. And we decided to have this activity together with the EU information points in these two cities. And we also encourage women to move towards the cultural barrier and to reach the EU level in terms of getting new support and new horizons. We believe that societal advancement is only possible by increasing the status of women. Our women entrepreneurs are very well aware of that, and they have sent this message very strongly to women circles in their own cities, and I believe that we managed to do that. Within the frame of our activity, Şanlıurfa and Trabzon Chambers of Trade and Commerce, they have provided some information activities, they have provided some trainings, and they inspired many women entrepreneurs with talks and interesting events. The first activity was organized with the arriving group of entrepreneurs from Trabzon in Şanlıurfa. We have organized very successful trainings. Our basic theme of these women entrepreneurs from Trabzon and Şanlıurfa was how to reach the EU market, how women in those two cities can reach the EU market. After that panel, we had a training about how a functional e-trade website can be started, can be used, and can be effectively utilized. Our actual motto when we first started was, we will produce together. And that's how we started in our project. Between 5th and 6th of August in 2019, and the second one is in Trabzon, also in the same year. So we had two consecutive events in Şanlıurfa and Trabzon back in 2019. And the most important aspect of that project, it has been funded by 100% EU funds. And it was the first project of its kind when it comes to Şanlıurfa and Trabzon Chambers of Commerce and Trade within the EU. It became a role model project for women entrepreneurs in Turkey. And it has been very useful and significant so that it can be done in other provinces as well. And we have mentioned, and the EU representatives mentioned that many times. And we would like to thank EU for their funds for this very important project. Let me talk about our goals within that project. We know that women entrepreneurs are usually preferring service sector, but that's a little bit unfortunate. In our project, we were focusing to encourage women to go to production sector, manufacturing sector. The performance, the effectiveness, and the productivity and profitability for women entrepreneurs, we want this project to be a teaching experience. We also wanted to bring these two cities together for producing together. And also, we want to increase the cultural interaction between the EU and our country. And after 2019, we also targeted to bring women entrepreneurs from the EU and Turkey together, but unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we were unable to do that. But still, once the COVID-19 is over, we will be doing that as well. Also, we want to bring the success stories together with the partners. I believe there is nothing which cannot be done by women entrepreneurs if they are given the right tools and resources. Therefore, we bring them together with successful role models, because some women are experiencing regional disadvantages, they are facing some prejudices, and we found those successful role models who overcame all these difficulties. And they showed others that, look, I have done it, so you can as well. And all our participants said that they have improved their self-confidence and their self-faith. Unfortunately, in the eastern part or the southeastern part of our country, the level of women entrepreneurship is not in the desired level. Therefore, it is very essential to encourage women. Once we do that, they can achieve anything. Maybe it is our main role to encourage and to reveal or untap the entrepreneurial spirit that they all have. As I said, it was the first in Turkey that Trabzon and Şanlıurfa Women Entrepreneurs Councils signed a protocol together for being sister councils with each other. Especially in the areas of tourism and food manufacturing, we have developed some commercial cooperations, and we enabled an environment for them to be implementable, practical. in these respective fields. So we have achieved some goals here. We had some regional, local products, and we exchanged them between two cities. We marketed them in these two cities, and we also constitute a role model for other cities in Turkey for similar cooperations, especially tourism, gastronomy, crafts, handcrafts were the main grounds for our cooperation. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yazmachi. That was very helpful, and again really demonstrates the value of putting in place structures to enable women entrepreneurs to work together in an organized manner and to cooperate within their region and with other regions and with other countries. So thank you very much. Okay, back to Europe and indeed back to Italy again now, and we will hand over the floor to Ms. Cristina Tomiati, who is the president of the Women Entrepreneurship Committee of Turin. Ms. Tomiati.
Umarım iyi oldu.
Christina, you are muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Okay, thank you very much. Probably I was the audio off. I said that we are open to international cooperation with our committee. So thank you for the opening for this possible network also with Turkey. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Since 1999, EUROCHAMBRES, the Italian chamber system, has created a territorial network of committees for women's entrepreneurship to increase the representation of women in the world of work and business and to manage the related issues. Critical issues and opportunity. As our Mr. Borlitz just presented, we believe that the pandemic can create new inequalities. But there may be also the possibility of new opportunities. For this reason, we think that our work and our commitment must be further strengthened. For this reason, the Committee of Women's Entrepreneurs in Milan and Turin, that I have the honor to represent, developed a staff proposal that values the contribution of the country's female entrepreneurship, which often characterized as a laboratory of innovation and positive experimentation. We focused the project on the objectives identified on the UN Agenda 2020 for sustainable development and specifically. Measure 5, gender equality. All the defined actions are directed to grant a more sustainable and inclusive economy for women, ensuring a reduction of the gender gap in the fields of wage, employment, and innovation. Measure 8, decent economy. Promotion of
Ms. Tomiati, I'm sorry for interrupting, but your voice is not clear. That's why.
I'm very sorry. I don't know why, because
our interpreters cannot hear you. That's why there is no translation.
What about now? Can you hear me better? No?
Working to the same, yeah.
But you cannot hear me at all?
Perhaps if you move a little bit further away from your microphone, it might help.
What about this? What about this?
Try again.
Now? Can you hear me? Okay, let's try another way. I'm sorry for this. About now? Can you hear me now?
No, it's the same problem, I'm afraid. No.
Not at all? What about now?
Try again. Continue with your presentation.
Hello?
If it does, please continue. Huh?
Hello?
That's better.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, that's better now. Miss
Hello?
Tumiati. Yeah,
I
that's
cannot
better
hear you
now.
anymore.
Your voice
Yes,
is
Christina.
much more clear now.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I would suggest that we move on with the next speaker, and then perhaps we can try and come back to Mr. Miati afterwards if we manage to find a solution. In which case, I will pass.
Hello?
I will pass on the floor now to Ms. Ayla
I
Hart.
cannot hear. Io non ho problemi di audio.
We have a problem cutting the previous speaker. But Ms. Hart, are you available to make your presentation from the Mersin TOBB Women Entrepreneurs Council?
Evet, merhaba, uygunum.
Yes, hello, I'm available and I will continue.
Please continue.
Herkese merhabalar.
Hello,
Burada
good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be among yourselves, and what I've heard until now has also made me very happy. Therefore, I would like to begin by thanking everybody for the organization. My name is Ayla Harp. I'm from the Mersin Women Entrepreneurship Council from the Chamber. I'm also an attorney at law. And I will just shortly mention about what we're doing for women entrepreneurs in Mersin. First of all, lastly, I'll begin with our last project because I believe it was a very important issue. Our president from TOBB, Mr. Hısarcıklıoğlu, initiated this beginning from Mersin, and we are now looking to spread it out to the country. This is a Women Entrepreneurship Academy, and hopefully tomorrow evening we will begin our first broadcast. Why did we do this? Because I'm sorry, I'm a little excited, therefore I'm trying to follow up on my notes. In Mersin, of course, we didn't do this project alone. We came together with the university, with the civil society organization, other chambers. Therefore, I would like to thank all these parties for their contributions. In the preparation process for the academy, we worked quite diligently, and we worked with other women entrepreneurship councils. We planned in detail for all the processes so that the academy would be able to benefit everybody at the best possible level. In short, in our council, with our university, with an R&D environment, we came together and we thought about this pandemic environment that we are in. We thought about how we could benefit from it, and we thought that this would be a good time to promote digital interventions. And so we wanted to encourage and empower our women and women entrepreneurs in this regard. So we will be holding 2 meetings every month, and In the academy, the entrepreneurs, the students, everybody who will be looking for support will be able to find that together with experience sharing and motivation. Together, if our young colleagues have certain specific projects, we would like to look into them and support them as well. And now we will spread this out into the country from Mersin. In addition, in our province, we are always very careful in terms of creating a role model for our colleagues. Global entrepreneurship is something that we look into, and we organize an entrepreneurship festival in that regard. Mediterranean is a very important region, as you know, internationally, and Mersin is very specifically situated in that. Therefore, we organize this festival, but we bring entrepreneurs from all around the region, and we work with multiple stakeholders like the Habitat Association, and this was organized for the first time this year. And the content of the festival was quite interesting. The introduction was made by myself, representing the TOBB, but we also had our research center president. We had representatives from the TOBB headquarters, and we had our professor Duygu Hıdıroğlu. We had our youth branch representatives, and the festival was organized with all of their contributions. We had university youth as participants, young people who are interested in entrepreneurship, and we did it in this region. Our first topic, I think, which is relevant to us all women, and today is actually a very important day for our gender, and I think this organization on this day is also very important. We are all people who believe in equality of the genders, and that's what we emphasized in our festival as well. Together with equality, we emphasized entrepreneurship, and we provided digital marketing trainings. We had workshops which helped participants develop their ideas. In addition, another project I can mention for our Women Entrepreneurship Council, we think that it's very important for us to be able to show the way to young girls. We feel that responsibility, and for that, in our province, together with the Mersin Industrial Chamber and our commercial chamber, with other stakeholders and university representatives, we had an organization for university graduate young girls that would be encouraging them to take part in commerce and become entrepreneurs. And we named them angels because we see them as angels. And the fundamental objective here was that we have these young university graduate girls, and we want to encourage them for foreign trade, but they need to be encouraged, they need to be empowered with knowledge for the details of commerce and the laws there, and how SMEs work and how SMEs export. Globally, there is a lot of things that young people can do in the world, and that's why we wanted to include our young girls to that trend. All our participants in this project were university graduates. They were all speaking multiple languages, and we had an age limit between 22 to 30 years of age. They received these trainings. These were 2 months theory and 3 months on the job. And then they were examined by the university. So once their competency was certified, they were also able to continue into implementation. We believe that foreign trade is an area where we need more competent young people, and we need to create that awareness in our country. And as a result, we believe that we will be able to contribute not just to our country, but to the region and to the globe at large. And we have been able to benefit from multiple resources when we are doing these activities to support women and young girls. We didn't have to bear any of the burden in that regard. We've been able to find resources that have been provided both by national government or regional institutions or even international establishments. But in addition, our own local businesses provided us a lot of support. They provided on-the-job trainings to our young girls. They paid these girls and they paid their social security premiums as well. So these were all very important aspects in our project, and we didn't just do the project and leave it there. The sustainability of the activity is also very important for us. Therefore, now we are following up on the girls that received the trainings, especially 28 of them are under our scrutiny, and we know that they are quite active in the areas that they receive the training. They are now becoming experts in foreign trade. I think in foreign trade, we also need
Sorry to interrupt.
experts.
Can I ask you to conclude, please, because we have run out of time. Thank you.
Tabii.
Of course. And just, I would like to mention, in these trainings, we also got government support, and they are providing employment now, they are providing added value. And of course, I could talk for a lot more if I had the time, but nevertheless, thank you very much for the opportunity and thank you for your patience. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hart. And it would have been interesting to hear much more about that and the importance of focusing on youth and on international trade, both two very important factors in our economic recovery. So thank you. Now we're going to try and reach Ms. Tumiati again. I understand that she has found another headset, so perhaps we will have more.
Let's try. Can you hear me better now?
Better.
Okay, so probably was due to this audio. So can you hear also the presentation?
We can see the presentation and we can hear you fine. Please go ahead.
Okay, so we developed a joint manifesto with the two committees, the committees of Torino and committees of Milan, to recover from COVID. So the joint manifesto follows the Agenda 2030 of ONU, and for the first measure, so gender equality, all the defined actions are directed to grant a more suitable and inclusive economy for women, ensuring a reduction of the gender gap on the fields of wage, employment, and innovation, for a decent work and economic growth, the promotion of equal conditions in every aspect of business, including remuneration, ensuring equal conditions for women and men in assessing career paths, design impact action on young people in order to bring boys and girls closer to the study of STEM, that is a big problem, particularly for Italy. Promotion of rewarding condition for women's access to credit. This is another plug in Italy as well. Implementation of awareness raising action and realization of webinar against gender violence and discrimination at work. So regarding industrial innovation and infrastructure, support the construction of conscious and responsible companies through expert advices, promotion of digital culture and raising awareness of women's enterprise about digitalization and innovation, thanks to specific webinar and collaboration with digital organization, creation of a business network in order to connect the Italian and foreign female enterprises. So it would be a great possibility for us to cooperate also with the Turkey companies in this case. Regarding sustainable cities and communities, promotion of green economy, rising awareness of the waste disposal of IPR related to COVID-19, promotion of a new modulation of city times in order to adapt the post-COVID-19 safety standards and to improve the balance between life and work, promotion of smart working and as an environmental sustainability tool. We think our constitution says that work is the key to ensure a solid and inclusive economy, and is one of the main rights and enrichment of the Italian constitutional charter. Our aim is to ensure equal employment opportunities for men and women. Only in this way we can overcome this difficult challenge. Also, if I can conclude, precisely in order to achieve this ambition, but we believe achievable project, during the EUROCHAMBRES Italian tour that will start this afternoon from Torino, we will present a memorandum of understanding between our committee of Torino, Turin Metropolitan City, and the Council of Equal Opportunities to carry out within our territory projects related to domestic and gender-based harassment and discrimination in work, measures to structure smart working, implementation of cultural training companies for the emancipation of women at work, implementation and promotion campaigns from primary school for the STEM disciplines, promotion and sharing of welfare activities and reconciling tools for family work balance, promotion of facilitated credit access measure, and we really hope that this can just be a small start to win this big challenge that we will face after COVID. Thank you very much also for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miati. Sorry about all the technical problems. And if you agree, we will share the slides with the participants as well, so that they have the full picture of that very impressive initiative that you presented and a valuable approach. Thank you. Now, we've been joined meanwhile by Ambassador Bose and Ambassador Maya Landrut. Welcome to both of you, but if I may ask you for a few more minutes of patience, and hopefully you will find this very interesting, because we have one more speaker from the session 4, who is Irena Spajic from the Croatian Chamber. Irena, the floor is yours for the final presentation of this panel, please.
Thank you very much. On the very beginning, I would like to thank the organizers for having us here and to be able to present the activities of Croatian Chamber of Economy in the field of women entrepreneurship. I have a brief presentation, so I will share my screen now. Share. It's okay, you can see it?
Yes, please continue.
Okay, thank you. So allow me just to briefly present some statistics on women entrepreneurship in Croatia and the role of our chamber in the woman entrepreneurship. So I will leave more time for one project, ongoing project that would be interesting for the participants of this forum. So here on this slide, we can see some statistics for the Republic of Croatia, where we can see that the share of women entrepreneurs in the ownership structure in Croatia is slightly increasing compared to previous years. And now, at the end of 2019, we had 70,000 women entrepreneurs in Croatia, and they were mostly engaged in consulting services such as law, accounting, public relations, marketing, architecture, design and translation, as well as beauty and trade sector, and accommodation and food. Also, thanks to many associations and initiatives in Croatia, which we have, women entrepreneurs have support which is encouraging and motivating when they can share their experiences and seek support of other women entrepreneurs. Sorry. Okay, here you can see the concrete numbers from the recent research conducted here in Croatia. That 22% of companies are owned by women, and 34% of crafts are owned by women, which means that on one company owned by women goes 2.67 companies owned by men, and on the one craft owned by women goes 1.9 craft owned by men. But we can also see an increase in the number of women-owned companies since 2010 compared to men-owned companies, and 10% more women-owned crafts in 2018 compared to 8% men-owned crafts. And the recent study also shows some typical characteristics of women entrepreneurship, and we can say that in the times to come, the potential of women in entrepreneurship will be valuable, because women in business do not put profit first. They are socially sensitive and concerned more for workers and interpersonal relationships, and they focus on the local economy related to the region and homeland, which results in a large number of crafts, which we saw in the numbers presented, small family businesses, and which also affects the preservation of family values. Now I will speak a little bit about the role of Croatian Chamber of Economy in women entrepreneurship, because our chamber is certainly one of the actors in Croatia that recognizes the importance of supporting and developing women's entrepreneurship. We are very active in this area for many years, more than 10 years. So I will just mention some initiatives and activities within our chamber. Croatian Chamber of Economy was one of the creators of the strategy for the development of women's entrepreneurship in the Republic of Croatia, along with an action plan. Then we were a part of EUROCHAMBRES Women Network, and the purpose of the network was to establish a European platform of information and to promote equal opportunity rights and professional women's viewpoints and interests. Then we had one project called Entrepreneurship. That's the project that ended, and it was active in 2009-2010, where and included 150 women ambassadors from 10 European countries, and Croatia was one of it. And with this project, Croatia became a member of the network for the promotion of women entrepreneurship. And the main aim of the project was to establish a network of ambassadors in Croatia that will encourage women to start an entrepreneurial activity and start their own company. Also, we are a member of Enterprise Europe Network, and our chamber is a coordinator of the Croatian consortium. So we take part in Women Entrepreneurship Sector Group, which connects female entrepreneurs, help to share best practices, and present role models. These are, I will just mention now a few activities in the recent months, a few webinars and conferences aimed at women entrepreneurs. We had a webinar called Challenges of Women in Business in Times of Crisis, then the conference and B2B talks named Women and Men in the Construction Sector in the Danube region and beyond. Then webinar 10 tricks for greater success in social networks, challenges on women in business during the crisis, that was the conference, and so on. But now I would like to take this opportunity to present you one particular activity that we are very proud of. It's a small business school for women. Enterprise Europe Network Croatia, together with International Business Women Network, organized a series of workshops called Small Business School for Women, and it's active since 2018. The purpose of this workshop is to provide current and future entrepreneurs with new knowledge and skills in creating their own business. This school is targeted for all women who are thinking about private entrepreneurship, but also those who already own a company and want to gain new knowledge and skills. Our workshops are within this school are organized in 2 modules, for beginners and advanced one, and each module consists of 4-day training through 1 month. So it's 1 whole day per week, and after they get a diploma. And they can learn from women, the trainers, experienced entrepreneurs, everything they need to start and grow their own business and company. The program of these workshops consists of various themes, from bureaucratic procedures such as collecting the necessary paperwork, choosing a company name, opening a company, choosing a bookkeeping service, to specific marketable skills such as pricing, finding a partner in foreign market, and marketing. Besides these topics, we have also workshop on other skills that are important for successful business, such as public appearances, presentations, business communication, and personal PR. And the excellent impressions and feedback from our attendees guarantee that the workshop models will continue and the new cycles are going to be organized in the future. And this school, before the pandemic, this school was organized as a physical event in our headquarters in the chamber, in our premises. But during the pandemic, we didn't stop because we turned it into virtual education. I must add that these workshops are very interactive, so we can not have like more than 40 attendees per cycle. And what's more, we also formed a WhatsApp group, where they can get additional information, reminders, and also network in this group. And what particularly impressed us was that the participants started to cooperate even between each other, not just with the trainers, but between each other. As some of them already have their own businesses, they have started to cooperate during the school and use the business services of another attendees, so their fellow colleagues. And this is definitely one of the most popular activity. We have such a rush of applications that we simply have to organize multiple cycles, both for beginners and advanced module throughout the year. And I would once again would like to thank you for this opportunity to present you this our project. And I'm happy to hear other good examples which we could also use as motivation and ideas for our future activities in the future period. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irena, for that presentation. A very diverse range of activities there within your project. And as you say, it's valuable to share these activities so that we can learn from each other and refine our services across the Chamber network, both within the EU and in Turkey. We don't have time for questions and answers, unfortunately, but please allow me to reassure everybody that all of the presentations will be made available to participants, and allow me also to thank each of the panelists once more for for taking part in that extremely rich and diverse panel discussion that we've just had. Now, we will turn now to the final closing remarks. I will make a few comments on the previous session as well. We are joined, as I mentioned before, by Ambassador Bozay, the permanent delegate of Turkey to the EU. Welcome, Ambassador, as well as, of course, Ambassador Maya Landrut, who is the Ambassador and Head of EU Delegation to Turkey. So a very warm welcome to both of you. Before I pass the floor to you, Ambassador Bozay, a couple of points from the last couple of days, what we have been discussing during the workshop, and what's been happening. We've had nearly 900 participants over the last couple of days. We've had streaming has been watched by 1,200 on 1,200 occasions, and we've regularly had more than 100 participants in each of the sessions that have taken place. So it's been a big event. Some of the key messages that we've picked up also from the last session that I would summarize briefly before I hand over. Firstly, the importance of networking between women entrepreneurs, between experienced and inexperienced entrepreneurs as well. Secondly, I would say the importance of structure and organization. We've heard about a number of committees and councils within chambers for women entrepreneurs at local and at national level, and they seem to be a very important component in effective women entrepreneurship programs. Thirdly, data. What can be measured can be improved, we often say in EUROCHAMBERS, and I think that we saw from a couple of examples that if we have data specifically on experiences of women entrepreneurs, the challenges they are facing, the opportunities they present, then we're better positioned to tackle those challenges and to facilitate those opportunities. And building on that, I think my final remark would be that the crisis has clearly hit women entrepreneurs disproportionately. But at the same time, women-run businesses will also be disproportionately important to driving the recovery. There's a lot of data which suggests that women-owned businesses are more successful, more sustainable, and even indeed grow quicker, particularly if we can encourage them to grow internationally as well. Those are two important components. So it's a very challenging period for women entrepreneurs. It's a very challenging period for all entrepreneurs, of course, but seemingly more so for women entrepreneurs. But it's even more important that we help them get through this difficult period and help to contribute to our shared economic recovery, which of course we all want to start as soon as possible. So on that note, I will now pass the floor to Ambassador Bozay for your final remarks. Please, Ambassador.
Thank you very much, distinguished participants, dear Ambassador Maya Landrut, distinguished Chief Executive Mr. Butters. I'm privileged to address you on the occasion of Women Entrepreneurs Forum. In such fora, the main event takes place and the ambassadors usually come at stage to share the credit for the precious work which is already done. Here, this is happening again with my colleague. We are here to get the credits with this closing session. In any case, it's an honor for me to share the visual stage with my distinguished colleague, Ambassador Nikolaos Meyer Landrut, and to have the chance to be part of this important event. I have learned from my colleagues who followed the forum, and as also you just mentioned and gave us a small briefing on that, briefing us on what happened. It has been very vivid and comprehensive activity in terms of the assessment on the finding ways to support and guide women entrepreneurs in Europe in all areas of life, besides to create awareness on works carried out by relevant institutions for women entrepreneurs. I learned that the morning session was dedicated to success stories, and I was very touched about this honey story and the university story, and I think it's our duty to increase these success stories, and my highest admiration goes all the women heroes of these stories. In my part, in order to present a more factual picture of the role of women entrepreneurs in my country, I would like to provide you with some statistics. I apologize in advance if these numbers have already been mentioned during the forum, and I will be just repeating them. As we refer to statistics and figures, as Mark Twain said, figures won't lie, but men that draw up the tables may. But as a matter of fact, the figures I will share with you now clearly indicate how women entrepreneurs are becoming more and more active in business life in Turkey. While there were approximately 5 million women in business life in 2004, as of the end of 2018, there are approximately 9 million women in business life. It's more than doubling. More than doubling in 2020. The labor force participation rate of women, which was around 23% in 2004, rose above 34%. In the last 15 years, while the number of female employers rose from 40,000 to 112,000, the number of self-employed women increased from 490,000 to 875,000. Of course, our expectation and wish is to double and triple these numbers in a very short time. However, as I was just listening to the previous speakers, and also I learned from my colleagues, as it was mentioned and emphasized by all of us, we are all facing unprecedented and awful challenges of COVID-19, which makes entrepreneurship more difficult than ever. The obvious bad news known by everyone is that significant declines are being observed in economic and commercial activities, inevitably including those of women entrepreneurs. The relatively good news, at the same time, there are studies, as you mentioned, distinguished Mr. Butters, showing that women entrepreneurs are adapting themselves to changing conditions in a world in a swift manner. For instance, according to research of We Connect International, with the participation of 590 firms, 51% or more of which belong to women all over the world, while 87% of participants were negatively affected by the pandemic and they experienced a decrease in their sales and profit rates, and 43% of them stated that they experienced a loss of customers because they couldn't communicate face-to-face. However, at the same time, 42% of women entrepreneurs managed to move their business to the electronic environment in this process. 37% of them started to develop new businesses based on local and global needs. 32% of them started, 16% of them, of women entrepreneurs, developed new products and services in this process and put them on the market. These data show, once again, the power of women to successfully adapt themselves new environments and difficult conditions in a swift manner. Our aim is to provide assistance to obtain this swift manner for women entrepreneurs in Europe, which Turkey is part of it. As previous speakers underlined, there is a comprehensive work on women entrepreneurship. I would like to give some examples from my own country. In Turkey, under the Ministry of Trade, a department for women entrepreneurs was established with a view to strengthening the role of women on foreign trade. As almost half of our trade is with the EU, this work is directly related with Turkey-EU relations. With a similar aim, the Export Academia program was started in order to bring together women entrepreneurs who are willing to make exports and to provide them training and mentoring in the fields they need. These are just two examples, and there are a number of other initiatives and ongoing works carried out by the relevant public institutions and civil society organizations such as TOBB, as mentioned in this very fruitful forum. As it has been underlined a number of times during the forum, access to finance is one of the most important problems faced by women entrepreneurs, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. In this regard, I'm glad to learn that Mr. Bülent Özcan, Director General for Financial Cooperation and Project Implementation at Directorate for EU Affairs of my ministry, has already proposed to hold a separate and comprehensive event focusing on the funding opportunities of women entrepreneurs. With his efficient team, Mr. Özcan is the right person to assist the Turkish women entrepreneurs. As the ambassador of Turkey to the EU, I assure you, my delegation and I will be also at your disposal. We are ready to give all support from Brussels in guiding your efforts to the right direction. At this point, as I said, the right direction, I would like to underline a fact which is known by all European women entrepreneurs. I would like to draw to your attention to the EU Green Deal strategy, which aims to make the economy more sustainable by turning climate and environmental changes into opportunities. I kindly urge women entrepreneurs to concentrate mainly on benefiting from business and funding opportunities of the Green Deal in the coming period. This is not some kind of a new arrangement, but this is vital and crucial way that women entrepreneurs should look ahead. We all should study carefully the targets and goals of the Green Deal, which is actually a growth strategy, and transform our enterprises to fulfill the targets of this important strategy of the EU. Dear participants, in concluding my words, I would like to emphasize that it is crucial to strengthen cooperation between the EU and Turkey through women entrepreneurs with the participation of public institutions, NGOs, private sector representatives, and universities. And this will definitely create a healthy ecosystem that will enable women entrepreneurship in Europe to flourish. On this occasion, I would like to thank EUROCHAMBERS, both for the organization of this forum and for all the work they have done for women entrepreneurs so far. We are in close contact with Turkey-EU Business Dialogue Project team working in Brussels, thanks to valuable work of Oya Ersoy. While greeting all of you once more, leaving the screen to my distinguished colleague, Ambassador Meyer Landrut, I would like to once again emphasize that my delegation will be at your disposal for any kind of cooperation, consultation, and ready to arrange joint activities in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Bourget. That was very inspiring and very helpful. And the message at the end about women entrepreneurs as agents for cooperation between the EU and Turkey, I think is a very important one, which we've seen in practice over the last 2 days, I believe. Thank you very much. Now, turning the floor to Ambassador Meyer Landrut, please, for your closing remarks, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, distinguished participants of this Women Entrepreneurs Forum, dear Mr. Butters, and also dear Ambassador Bourget, happy to see you on this event. This is a very happy coincidence. I'm happy to be with you at the closing of this forum. Actually, I was foreseen at the starting, but then I had some technical problems which put me to the end. But perhaps this is a good occasion to be here together with you, Ambassador Bourget. And I have also heard about the intensive exchanges you have had, and this seems to be really a very lively and very productive forum which is behind you. Now I'm in the very difficult situation that most has already been said, but nevertheless, let me make some points which, from my point of view, are particularly important. First of all, Turkey is a strong economic and trade partner of the EU, and the dialogue between our business communities is essential in this partnership. The Turkey-EU business dialogue implemented by TOBB and EUROCHAMBERS has been and is a great facilitator of this partnership, and I already start to witness this after 2 months in Turkey. The project keeps the European and Turkish chambers and their member companies engaged in common areas of interest, helps establishing a culture of working together. Women entrepreneurship which is the subject today, is a perfect example of an area where our business communities can work together and probably can even more work together in the future to exchange experiences and good practices. Women make up 52% of the total European population. However, only 34.4% of the self-employed and 30% of the startup entrepreneurs are women in the EU. So there is still space. As the World Bank points out, equality of opportunity is good economics. It is estimated that women's lagging participation in employment and entrepreneurship costs the world about 15% of GDP. 15% of GDP. So it's in all our interest to improve this. EU promotes women economic empowerment and women entrepreneurship through different tools. You have certainly heard about them during your forum, but let me quickly run over it. We encourage networking and exchange of good practice, capacity building, in addition, of course, to our policy work. More importantly, we support women's access to finance by supporting initiatives such as business angel networks. The European Commission is also aiming at the creation of a gender-smart finance initiative under the InvestEU program to stimulate funding for female-led companies and funds. We have been supporting similar initiatives in Turkey as well, using different instruments such as financial support, wage subsidies, trainings, consultancy, networks, and awareness-raising activities. Our main channel for this support has been the Employment, Education, and Social Policy Operational Program in Turkey under the IPA funds, where we cooperate with the Ministry of Family, Labor, and Social Services. You heard more about this during the forum, as one of my colleagues covered the issue in the related panel on Tuesday. I know that the Turkish government also supports women entrepreneurship programs. Minister Pekan is an impressive advocate of such policies, and our co-host today, TOBB, is also supporting strongly such initiatives, and we heard it from the ambassador. Turkey committed itself to the EU's Small Business Act framework, and the OECD, encouraged by the Commission, has carried out assessments of the implementation of this framework in 2019. This assessment, called the SME Policy Index Report, found out that Turkey is one of the top performers in the region in terms of both entrepreneurial learning and women's entrepreneurship. This deserves acknowledgement and appreciation. But there is still a long way in front of us in both the EU and Turkey in terms of addressing gender equality in economic and social life. We witness new challenges due to the recent global developments. You have discussed the impact of COVID. It will make economic empowerment of women even more critical, as they are disproportionately affected by the situation. According to the European Institute of Gender Equality, the closure of serious limitation in the business activities could have severe effect on women-dominated professions, and unpaid care work will continue to increase. COVID-19 also deepened gender inegalities in the labor markets, especially in terms of labor force participation. The academic projects also reveal that the impact of pandemic will be much more severe for women in the labor market in the mid to long term. Women, on the other hand, make up a very large share of health and social care workers around the world. 70% are here on average in 104 countries. I would like to express my gratitude to all of them. In addition, the risk of being subject to violence increases in times of distress and forced social isolation. We have seen an increased incidence in domestic violence due to strict containment measures around the globe. Today, the last day of your forum, is also the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. I want to finish my intervention with a few words on this. Violence against women is unfortunately the most common human rights violation. It is rooted in social and cultural inegalities between men and women, and it affects all levels of our societies. We should ensure zero tolerance for violence against women. At the end, I would like to thank EUROCHAMBERS and TOBB for organizing this forum. I also thank the speakers, the women entrepreneurs, and all participants for being part of this very important and inspiring event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Maya Landrut. And again, thank you, Ambassador Bozai, for your closing remarks as well. You both said how important this women entrepreneurship cooperation is in the broader process of cooperation between the economies of the EU and Turkey. And I think that's something that we would fully share within EuroChambers. The last 2 days have been a very small step in that direction. I think plenty of new ideas have come up and there is scope to develop some further initiatives based on the discussions. So allow me to thank also everybody who's taken part in the event, the whole TEBD team for their support and active management of the event and the preparation, of course, which was extensive. Thank you all. And I wish everybody a good end to the afternoon and look forward to seeing you all again at an event in the near future. All the best.